Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Border Kingdoms Adventures, otherwise known as Joe questioning why he ever decided to do this shit in the first place. Welcome back to our three fey and a pizza, three fey, a dwarf, and a pizza place revival game. Son of a bitch! Yes, I have toggled on the mature filter. So there you go. You're getting us uncut and raw. It is 8 o'clock on a Sunday, and at least Central Time. Tonight's stream is going to be brought to you by, let's see, we'll go a Severed Line because I never finished this one and I've got to finish it before all the bubbles go away. So Liquid Death, if you want to sponsor us, I would not say no. Um, or you know uh, oats overnight. I don't know. We've started eating oats overnight, overnight oats for breakfast. Any sponsors, pretty much anything that would sponsor us with food, we'll accept. All right, so this game is known as Tal'Dorei South until we come up with a fitting weird name for this thing. Although they have started to talk about food within 15 minutes of the first session of this, we have not settled on a food related name. Uh, welcome back to the TTRPG Food Network. Currently, there is no quests other than search the ruined temple north of town. Uh, when last we left off, which was a month ago, because we did have several people missing last time we would have gamed. Uh, our group had gone to explore a swampy, ruined temple north of town, on the shores of Tal'Dorei. They did so, encountered a largish grouping of some rats, in addition to a very strange insectoid fey creature, and a giant toad that proceeded to swallow the gnome. The gnome has since been unswallowed, otherwise known as brought out from the clutches of the giant toad, and several members of the party are in the process of being unconscious on the ground in the ruined temple area. So it is there that we pick up, and the group is in a strangely quiet swamp right now. The just as soon as I start unmuting everybody, that's when Sirenscape decides to turn off the swamp sounds. Apparently, um, I'll switch it up. There we
Oh
go.
my gosh, is everyone okay? Is everyone okay? Did anyone break? No, I have a kid.
So, as I stated at the beginning of our pre-game call, the group of you are in the process of taking a short rest. Each of you that was unconscious will start to the short rest with 1 hit point, and you can spend your hit die from there. Since Cheryl was
Thank
complaining
you.
about the fact that I said hit dice, meaning all of you can spend your singular hit die. Um,
Level
Now
one.
you're getting nitpicky.
Level one.
now I'm getting nitpicky. So go ahead and take your short rest. Feel free to roll your hit die to see how many hit points you get back, and we'll pick up from there. Our blood hunter has gone off. I don't know, tracking down the toad that tried to eat you. It mysteriously got up and went away, and she went to go hunt it down so you guys could have frog legs. But that's the reason we have 7 players in this game. We can be down 1 or 2 players and still play. Hello, Haley. Are you set now?
It was too far away for me to hit the mute and unmute button.
I know, we were just seeing your window bouncing there. It's just like,
Yeah, I couldn't reach the thing, so I
where
had to
is
move
that
it.
webcam gonna end up eventually?
I don't know.
She
It's
needs
the iPad.
a mute remote.
I do need a mute remote. That would be great.
I have a lamp remote.
You should have a mouse. One of these cool things that allows you to access your computer from, not next to it.
Yeah, I'm on the iPad today.
Oh my. Is that a 1 I see rolled on a hit die there?
Yes, it is.
Well,
Don't forget to add your Constitution modifier.
it did. That made it a 3. Don't
Oh,
worry.
honey.
I've got a button for
Oh,
that.
that.
There we go.
Oh.
Stand behind the barbarian.
Yay! We
Okay.
love sad trombone.
You know,
Let's see.
every
Well,
session,
now we know how this game's gonna go.
every session of Virtual Weekend this weekend, I was talking about using Zoom so I could stream Sirenscape and the sad trombone noise. And I tell you, everybody bought fully into it. Every time they rolled on that one, they're like, "I want to hear it. I want to hear the sound."
I mean, at least you get that. It's like a consolation prize. Yes, I rolled a 1, but I get the sad trombone.
Yep.
Yeah, I was looking to see if I had a potion of healing and no such thing because we had no money.
No, you
Yep.
did not.
We
had no
got no
money.
money. We got no hit points. We got no spell slots.
We signed a
But we have
contract with a
friends.
sketchy guy we met in a bar. We're real adventurers.
It
I got
turns
some
out that your
mushrooms.
healing potion was the friends you made along the way. Ting.
Actually, I actually do have 1 spell slot, so I could cast Cure Wounds or Goodberry.
I was gonna say I have 4 out of 10 hit points, so don't waste that on me. I
Oh, it's a good thing I rested for
fine.
an hour. I'm still bloody. Blah.
I'll be fine. It's fine.
I'm fine, cough hack.
That always hangs that way. It's fine.
Oh, all right. So, to spot a flesh wound, exactly.
Let me untangle my
First
knitting.
time chatter, and the first thing they chat is to spot a flesh wound. True statements have never been more true. All right, so you, in taking your short rest, you've had yourself a nice little meal. The meal might have been rat burgers and boudin, but you've had yourself a nice little meal, a rest. You have healed up as best you can, and in checking around the area, here, let's actually take you back.
So as we were resting, I chose not to play my bagpipes as people rested, but I played the lute.
Oh, did you do the little Chris Pine jump from the movie
Yep.
that's coming out? Come out of the ruins and did the little whooing. And apparently Stacy does the Michelle Rodriguez fire axe thing. So you will find that
She's not dressed very well. She can't be me.
you find that the area where the rats came from, which is down in this little ruined building here, I should say big ruined building. There's that building is kind of falling apart. You do find the nests that the rats had there. Picked over bones and whatnot that they've been scavenging from the various creatures, the frogs and lizards and whatnot that the rats have been feasting on. Down towards this ziggurat that's down here, a path leads up to the top of the ziggurat, but there's no way in. And the ziggurat itself is kind of crumbling a bit and falling apart. It is half submerged in the water. And then there is the area over here where the roof has collapsed over that pair of buildings, and that is where the odd fey creature and the toad came leaping out of. That is the only place that you have seen that has got doors. They're kind of hanging off the hinges. They've been exposed to far too much abuse from the creatures that were living in it, and but you did notice trails coming out of it. More insectoidy type trails, like those creatures were kind of layering in there and were coming out to feast on things. Sometimes rats. As you make your way into that area, you see that there is a hallway between a pair of doors, and at the end of it is a statue. The statue that is there has a is a about 6 foot tall statue. It is of a woman, uh, humanoid female, dressed in robes. Uh, Arms were one arm was kind of raised, probably had something in its hand. The arm has since been broken off from use or whatever, and the arm that is down has got a shield on it. It is still a stone statue, but it bears this shield, and it's got the insignia on it of some type of a snake head on the shield, and the woman's head has crumbled a bit, um, broke off about half part of it, but what's left of it, you see, it just looks like a regular humanoid head. But she's got kind of a stern look on her face, like it might have been almost like a Lady Justice kind of a figure, where it was a protector statue, whatever. The only symbology that remains on it is the snake on the shield.
Could I do a history check to see if I recognize the symbol?
You certainly can.
Oh,
I
I
do a
goodness.
rel-
A
a
row.
rel-
So last century.
I rolled a 2. Plus 0. So
No clue
two.
whatsoever.
no clue whatsoever.
Could I do religion?
You could attempt a religion check, sure. If it's a religious symbol, you might. This is
Not one I
clearly
know.
a secular shield displayed here. Not a clue. It is far enough back that it probably it's just not something that you've studied.
Hmm.
Is there a way? The statue's down by the ziggurat, right?
No, the statue is up here.
Okay.
Oh, I
Can
suppose
we-
these are. I did polygon reveals here, didn't I?
Yes.
I can reveal this. Yeah.
So the statue is the star?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything of value to be found in these 2 ruined buildings?
A stairs that leads down, but where the stairs lead down, it goes kind of underwater. Well, not really underwater, but it goes down to where you're walking through the water, like maybe a foot or 2 deep.
Okay.
Fairly deep for the gnome, not that deep for most everybody else.
Can we
Mhm.
see where is me? There's me.
And that's where the stairs are. So
Ooh, I don't.
what you will find is inside of this area here, there are a much larger grouping of bones and debris and creatures that have been dragged off and consumed by that fey creature and the giant toad. And inside of there, you see what looks to be like a nearly intact but digested smaller humanoid, halfling, gnome, goblin, something around that size, around a 2.5 to 3.5 foot tall creature. Mostly digested. There is tatters of what was probably leather armor on it that is just full of holes and whatnot from partial digestion. And aside from that, it has got laying beside it a smattering of coins that weren't digested. 1 second.
May I do an investigation check to see how many coins are there?
You certainly can. It doesn't even
Well,
involve an
you do that,
investigation check.
for
It
my
just
ID.
involves counting. So you find a collection of roughly a dozen and a half gold coins, and about 6 or so silver coins.
Okay, I will gather those up if I can and distribute them amongst everyone. How many of us are there at the
Well,
moment?
you can just pocket it, and then we can
Okay,
worry about it
so what,
afterwards.
12 gold and 6 silver?
Actually, about 18 gold and 6 silver.
10
Dozen,
gold, 6 silver.
yeah, dozen and a half gold and 6 silver.
Kitty
Additionally,
likes shiny things.
you will find that there is a the scabbard is a mess and is half digested, but there is a dagger uh, kind of hanging off of its belt. The dagger itself is clear, shiny, and in good shape, which means it was probably protected by some sort of enchantment on it. So you think you might have a magic dagger in there as well.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I will touch it. I will pick it up.
You pick it up.
To-
It does not suddenly go. You're cursed. No, it's just a dagger.
Okay.
You pull it up out of the scabbard. But yes, it is shiny looking.
Okay.
Did you
we
have
will-
something, Cheryl? Were you going to attempt to see if it was actually magical?
I will detect magic on it.
Yes, it's magical.
Okay.
It has got
Okay.
it has got a light enchantment on it, which means that it is probably holding up the dagger. It is well balanced. It is light, even for a dagger. And the blade is relatively thin. It's like something that you might see like on a noble's belt or the like, but it clearly was something that was being used by some type of adventuring little person.
And I will as B hold it up to the rest of the party and say, well, this is very shiny.
It's magical, bee.
Is it a good magic or a bad magic?
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Has it made you shove it in your gut yet?
No, and it's not telling me to kill anyone. Does
So
would anybody like this? Because I would be happy to keep it safe, of course.
would you use it?
Hi.
I was gonna say, I am technically a rogue, so yes, I will use daggers, but anyone else in the party?
I think the rogue lass should have it.
Anyone else? Dagger? Joe, is this just a, oh, well, I guess we'll identify it or something, but
You can just mark it down as a +1 dagger.
Yeah, you
Okay.
take it, babe.
okay, are you guys sure? Anybody else want to?
If you get a chance to
Yeah.
identify it or figure out if it does anything funkier than +1, I will let you know.
Older parchment shears? No? Okay, thanks all.
Nah, you got it.
All
Right,
right.
I will add that.
That poor creature's loss, your gain. Mwahaha. And there's the stairs leading down.
And the
Any-
down is into water that's 2 feet deep, right?
About a
Yes.
foot to foot and a half deep. Yeah.
I think it's
Are
over.
those waters clear?
No. You're in a swamp.
Do any of you lasses have a walking stick about you? You might want to shove in the murky waters there.
I have a javelin.
Anybody not small wanna give me a lift if the water gets too deep? Because I'm gonna be waist deep at least.
I put you on my hip.
Oh,
Uppies.
like a
Uppies.
babby.
That
Yes,
way.
thank you very
know,
much.
at 7'4", if we go to my waist, we're gonna get wet.
Has anybody watched season 2 of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime? I'm just picturing Grog doing the baby Bjorn thing with Scanlan.
I love
Yeah.
that.
This is actually kind of comfy. Ah. All right.
Before we descend, was that shield that you mentioned an actual shield or like a sculpture of a shield?
No, it was part of the statue. It was made of stone.
Okay.
So, as you head down into the water, we'll handle this portion of it as a little bit more theater of the mind. so that I don't have to keep unlocking different areas down there. As most of this could be taken care of through social means. If it gets to the point of being combat, I will let you know. So you get down into the kind of catacombs underneath this building. Step into it, and again, the water kind of splooshes up to about the 1 foot to 1.5 foot level. It is murky, swampy water. It definitely smells of mold and mildew down here. And as you walk through these caverns, you can hear the echoes of sounds. Some of it is the sounds of swamp creatures, bugs, crickets, possibly frogs. Not big frogs, little frogs, tiny frogs. The rest of it, you can almost hear the sounds of whispers, as if something is trying to tell you a secret, but you can't quite make out what it is. And as it echoes through there, you follow the pathway that it leads from the stairs that you're at, and it goes to a couple of smaller rooms, about 15 by 15 rooms that are potentially looked like alcoves or guard posts before coming into a area that appears to be more like a temple. It has got pillars surrounding the walls, which is what seems to be managing to keep up the ceiling above that is crumbling due to the fact that it is surrounded by swampy water. Um, and to one side, you can just barely make out the heads of a couple of statues in a room to the west of where you are. The fact that the statues' heads are just above water means that that water probably goes closer to about 5 foot deep, because those, assuming that it is the same size as the statue that was at the opening of this place, it is a much deeper area over there. So possibly there's a set of stairs leading down, or there's some sort of ramp that goes down into where that room where those two statues are located.
With the statue that was upstairs,
Yes,
where was it in relation to my 7'4" height?
it was probably it was about a foot or so shorter than you. There was a pedestal of some sort, and then it was about 6 feet tall as far as the statue itself. So it probably sat up about 6'3" total from the ground.
Okay.
So you're guessing it's about 5 or maybe a little bit higher, 5 to 5'3" or so of depth of water there, assuming the
lot of
same pedestal. To the
Anything moving in the water?
you all, you do see that there are some like bugs. If you've ever been to a swamp where you got like the skipping bugs across the water, that kind of stuff, that is kind of the only thing that you're seeing currently. Now, coming into the temple area, you do hit a chunk in the middle where the floor underneath has given way a bit. And so you kind of drop down an extra foot or so. So it's about 3 feet deep in the middle of that room where the floor has kind of sunk hole a little bit. It doesn't go much
And
further than that, but it does
I'm swimming.
a chunk down.
I'm short.
How short are you?
Might there be an old decayed wooden door that someone might float upon?
Well, but that'll only work for one person. It has been proven that you cannot fit Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet on the same door.
I beg to
Yeah, I don't
differ.
think it's proven.
There's a Tumblr post that proves both of them could fit.
Yeah, they both can fit, but the director said if they could fit, then the door would shrink because they didn't want them to.
Of course.
Yes.
So how short is
a
our
tiny door.
Tiny folk we have with us.
our
So-
Harrigan?
I'm 3 feet tall.
Okay, I guess you're on my other hip.
Okay.
I have no weapons in my hand any longer. I now have the ability to
What do you mean?
shock
I'm a
short
weapon.
people.
Dungeon buddies, hold hands.
So you've seen that wet cat video where they're swimming and the cat just looks really, really distressed, like I have made a huge mistake. That would be me wading into this water. It's just like, ew. Yeah.
So, towards the eastern end though of this horrifically damp area, you do see that it is a bit more stable. It goes back up to that foot to foot and a half level,
That's good.
and just past the central pillar on that wall, you see that there is a similar symbol as to the one that you saw on the shield of the statue up above. It's kind of got that snake face where the mouth is, instead of the mouth being wide open like it was on the shield, the mouth is kind of partially closed. But it's on the wall as a bas relief.
That's not ominous at all.
No, not at
Uh,
all.
The fine gentleman who tasked us with this particular endeavor said he was specifically looking for statues, tapestries, and artwork, and I think that's a statue.
That is more of a piece of bas relief. You would have to get it off of the wall to make it be statuary.
The
What about the
statue-
statue of the
Statues are a little
woman?
big to carry.
Ye old bulldozer.
There's statues in the water up to their necks.
There are.
I say we rip off the lady's arm as we leave. She was holding that really cool shield.
She was.
Well, let's see.
If we leave. There's lots of dead stuff here.
There's that. That's a good question.
Mhm.
So you see, there's this series of catacombs. There are basically 4 rooms on the corners of this temple. There's the two rooms further up where the stairs came down, and then there is the room with the statues to the west, and then this bas relief to the right. That is all of what you are seeing in this area.
I wonder if the fact that the snake is different means anything.
I would like to roll investigation.
Well, you can roll investigation to check out said bas relief on the.
As soon as I remember how to do that on
Under skills, go over to investigation and click on it. Well, that's a darn good investigation roll. You notice that the jaw on this bas relief has got a hinge to it. That there's a seam going across the jawbone section of it, and on just the inside of it, there appears to be a trigger lever to maybe make it into a secret door or a concealed door, where if you click it, it should open up.
Okay, I think this looks kind of trappy. So maybe someone should poke it with thieves' tools, like me. I want to poke it with thieves' tools.
You want
Can we check for traps first?
that's what the investigation is for. It does not seem like it is trapped.
Okay.
You don't. At least you didn't notice any obvious trapping mechanisms on it. It looks like it is just simply a secret door.
Okay,
Fellas, Arabelle's gonna back up a little bit before you do this.
I say the rogue who found it will poke it. I will jimmy the lock or poke.
Okay.
I will jiggle the lever or whatever I found.
Arabella gets nervous and backs up. You jiggle the lock. 30 feet back, a rock falls on Arabelle. Just kidding.
Sorry.
Whoops! Sploosh.
Oh,
There
that would
are
have been
no
hilarious
ghosts
if that was
in
real.
D&D.
No, that would only be if I was targeting Lindsay for some strange reason. So when you hit the lever on the inside of the jaw opens up in a very classic Conan the Destroyer sort of a way, and inside of the maw of this snake bas relief, you see what looks to be like a set of stairs that leads up just a little bit and leads out of the water and up into a higher up room above you.
Okay, I have to say it. I do. Where do these stairs go?
They go up.
Yes.
Do we
Is
you,
think
Joe.
that a thing?
I mean,
Is that a
up
thing?
out of the water seems kind of nice to me.
There is no Blood Hunter, only Zool.
Oh my gosh, it
Oh.
sounds like
It's
learn,
Ghostbusters
like,
reference.
so?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be a
Where do these stairs go? They go up.
survival check to figure out that whether or not we are under the ziggurat now?
The
if you
ziggurat.
entrance, this might be the entrance.
There we go.
You believe that you are not necessarily far enough to be underneath the ziggurat, but you are close to where the ziggurat is located.
Okay.
And it's entirely possible that the catacombs don't go under the ziggurat. It could just be that they are catacombs that are near the ziggurat, and the ziggurat is made for purposes of sacrifices to the sky as opposed to, sneaky underground stuff.
Well, I say we go on the big feller's mouth.
Climbing up into the big feller's mouth, you make your way up to the dry area. The dry area is about a 20-foot by 30-foot room. There's a fire going in a hearth, and the smells of herbs, stews, and tea strikes you as you come up. And in the far end, on what appears to be like a small dais near where the fire pit has been set, sits a older elven woman, and she is sitting on what appears to be like almost like a throne of sorts, and it must have had a statue in it at one point, although the statue is kind of on the floor now, towards the side of it. And as you come up, she goes, "Oh, look, we've got guests. I don't get guests down here very often. Oh, come in, dearies. Gather around. You must be so damp from being down in the water there. Come around the
Oh my
fire."
god, it is so damn.
Supposed to be anybody here? This is
Hmm?
supposed to be like abandoned.
Oh, it is abandoned. Did you see anybody down there? Because if you did, well, it would have to be frog people or something. Although that probably wasn't too far
I'm gonna
out.
look at her. I'm gonna look at her really, really hard. I'm gonna think about her while I look at her.
She looks at you and says, "Who hurt you?" She's
There was this guy, he wanted us to sign
I
a
don't
contract.
know.
Super sketch.
she says, "Oh, I'm so. Did I do something? I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've talked to people. I didn't offend you, did I? Please,
Oh, it's just we weren't really expecting to find anyone living down here, hanging out around here.
oh, well, my people have grown up around the swamps for generations. This is where we live. We can make out a very good living. Or at the very least, I won't never go hungry." And she shows you over, and near the hearth, she has got a collection of what looks to be like homemade sausages, mushrooms, some various okras and things like that. Apparently,
And fried frog legs.
fried frog. You damn know it's right. Oh yeah. And as she gets up and walks over there, you can see that she is in fact making what would probably be the Tal'Dorian equivalent of jambalaya in a pot on this fire
Mm.
pit. And while she looks to be like a kindly old elven woman, she is definitely wearing a pair of snakeskin boots or gator boots, probably more to the point. And yeah, she looks like she ekes out her living in the swamp. So and she says,
Like,
"Come."
is this a market situation? Like she sells things or she just
No, this
lives
is
off
just
the
she
land?
lives off the land.
Okay.
B is wet and cold and will immediately take up this woman's offer to come by the fire, take off her cloak, and just kind of like do the cat thing where she's
Hmm.
trying to dry herself off. And she's like, oh, thank you. I don't see how you live here. It is so cold. And just basically be the cat and like lay around the fire, just like
So
warm.
the more time you spend up here, the more time you realize it is comfortable. It is warm up here. It is dry. It is much different than being down in that area down there. There's plenty of light here. She has got there are uh, the where the sconces are located around here. There's about 3 or 4 sconces along the walls here that instead of having torches in them, she has got what looks to be like crystals that are glowing, like a continual light type of a thing. And and as you are warming yourself by the fire, she starts to pour out cups of tea and says, "Here, this will put the warmth back into your bones."
Does anybody have detect poison?
I would like to insight check. Well, no, somebody's already incited her, yeah? Yes,
Yeah.
Arabella incited.
Nope.
So I would like to look at the tea itself.
Look, it's tea. You can do an investigation. Well, if you want, you could do like a nature check.
I could definitely. I'm a tea person.
Yeah, you are a tea person.
I'm very pro tea. All my teas is made on mushrooms. But
Yeah,
Protein.
somebody else besides me, because honestly, it looks.
B is already in the process of drinking it when you look at it.
I'm just like it's warm. I'm drinking it.
14 nature for looking at the tea.
It is tea leaves. It is an herbal tea, something swamp related, but it is a tea. There's nothing untoward about it. It's not going to turn you into a frog or anything.
And
Can I
B will
try
look
to
at the rest of the party and just say, it's really good, guys. Have some.
after we finish the cup, I would like to try to like read people's tea leaves. I don't know that this is a skill that I have, but I'm
B
gonna
will
make an
absolutely
attempt
hold
at
out her cup to you and say, what's it say?
Go ahead and give me a deception roll because this is totally not a skill you have.
it. Hold on, I gotta get back to my character sheet. Oh, okay. No, I don't want ads. Apologies.
Stacy will
Touch-
also get in on the tea leaf reading.
Amanita just kind of pull some dried mushrooms out of her pocket and put it in the tea. No big deal.
Ooh, my deception's quite good. All right. Oh, it rolled over. 19 plus 3, so 22.
Nice.
She gives you a reading that is quite positive. It tells you that you've got luck and fortune in your horizon.
So, what's your name, friend?
Oh,
We get.
well, you may call me Auntie or Auntie Mela, Mother Mela to those that have become my children, but Auntie works just fine.
Is there just auntie? Is there a name?
Auntie Mela,
Mela.
Mayla, Mela.
Okay.
At first, I thought you said Mother May I.
Mother may I? That is my name. Mother may I? Let's play a game. Would you like to play a game? Along in this area, you see hanging up, there are bits of drying swamp creatures, frogs, lizards, fish, bits of drying vegetables and herbs and whatnot. She even has some drying mushrooms because swamps do have a variety of fungi in them. And you see almost like little totemic type um, uh, dolls and figures that she's made up out of twine, vines, and bones hanging up. And you see around the room there are bits of the kind of historical pieces that person who sent you this direction was looking for. She has kind of tossed them into the corners and tossed them to the side in clearing out this room to make it more of her home. Some of them are damaged from the water, some are not because they are made out of metal and the like. And Auntie looks you all over and says, "You can feel free to have a little bit of the jambalaya. It's got a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of kick, but it'll warm your bellies and it'll feed your souls. But what's brought you to my swamp? Why are you here?"
Well, we were contacted by this guy who's really interested in the history of the area, and he was looking for like artifacts that could tell him more about the history of this place.
Ooh, a historian. How nice. How pleasant. Well, um, I might be able to help with that. Uh, I'm a bit of a historian myself. Well, or at the very least, history is all about me. It's cluttering up my place, to be honest with you. Um, I can give you a few trinkets and a few pieces, just so you don't go away empty-handed. Because everything else that was out there, is either probably far too heavy for you to drag around, or has already been destroyed by being submerged. But I do know some secrets.
What secrets do you know, Auntie?
Whoa, like a secret on how to get inside that ziggurat out there. Because
Are you
it is a place where sacrifices were made back in the old gods' days. But there's things underneath it. But it is a trick to get into it.
a lot of magical stuff around here?
Well, I don't
Is
know if it's necessarily magical. It's just
well,
levers and
yeah,
pulleys and the
I
like.
guess. But do you care about it, or do you just care about your your cool setup? Yeah, I mean, why here?
Well, I told you. My family have lived in the swamp for generations. I've just chosen this
Sure.
place because it affords me a little bit of protection.
It
Everything
is
that's up and
quite
out there
cool.
kind of keeps things from knocking on my doorstep.
And it's
That's a good
warm.
point.
Are you the last of your family?
Oh no, there are a few more of them around. I have not had any children myself, but but I have taken on those that have found themselves without parents. But none recently. I've seen quite a few days. You might expect. Um, but I do know that I'd be willing to help you out in kind of getting into the secrets that are in that ziggurat out there. But
It,
I could
the
use a little.
ziggurat,
Mhm.
it's been there a long time, right?
Of course, it's a
Do
ziggurat.
you know how it got there?
Well, see, somebody decided I'm going to make a nice big pyramid looking thing. And they got a bunch of
Okay,
rocks. And then they stacked up
okay,
the rocks. And I
okay,
don't know, somebody built it.
okay. I just didn't know if you were here when that happened.
Oh, no. No, that was before my time. I'm not quite that old. I didn't quite plan Dirt's birthday party, but I was there for its christening.
Yeah.
You're funny.
But you see, while this is a nice enough place, there's a fine little lake further bit up the way there. Um, I would like to make my way up there and uh, get out into the swamps that are near there. Uh, it's a little bit more dry, a little bit more um, secluded. It isn't more secluded. I mean, I'm underground. You can't get much more secluded than that. But it's a little bit more um, fitting. But you see, there's a bit of a foul creature there. Now,
Oh,
I'm not saying go there and take care of this. She can be a bit prickly, the lady of that
is it
lake.
Toad?
But it's not a toad.
Oh,
I believe she is a creature of the Fae, and I believe she may, in fact, be a hag. I do
ah.
so not really enjoy using that term, but that
Mm.
is kind of the term of what it is. Uh, a a a hedge witch of the Feywild.
A hedge witch.
Yes,
And
and
she guards the entrance to the ziggurat?
oh
No,
no,
she's
no,
up at the
No,
lake,
she's got
she's
the
at the
island up
cool
in the
lake up
lake.
north.
Yes.
Cool Lake. Gotcha.
and
So
she
Yeah.
would like us to help her
at the very least,
Relocate.
relocate her,
relocate.
chase her off, make a deal maybe.
A
Um,
deal. Deals are
Against her
scary.
will.
I actually don't care how she finds a new place to go or where she goes. I would like to. My family once lived on that lake, and when she arrived, she chased us off. That is how I have come to be here, and she did
And
so quite a few years ago. It was almost as far back as the calamity, I suppose. But I would like to get back there. If you promise to do whatever you can to help Auntie get back to her island, well, then I will help you out with giving you whatever information I can about this ziggurat out here. And in fact, if you choose to go exploring it, I will even remain up here to help you out should you find any
Huh.
goodies down there. I can.
Ooh.
I've got plenty of skills at my disposal, and she shows you. She in fact has what looks to be like a kind of uh, uh, waterlogged a little bit. Uh, I shouldn't say waterlogged, water damaged spell book. Um, and she knows a fair bit of rituals. She's got some capabilities in the areas of magic detection, magic identification. She tells you about the various elixirs and whatnot that she is capable of creating that um, aid in life out in the swamp. Uh, she's got uh, several packets of anti venom, some healing unguents and salves, and the like that she kind of keeps at her disposal. So if you wish
B
to
will ask about bandages. Are there any bandages?
bandages, oh, of course, dearie, I've got plenty of those things. And you see that she has in fact um, it she's got some of the typical like cloth types bandages that you might expect, but she also then has some that are made out of woven leaves and whatnot that she has scavenged out of the swamp.
So, Joe, can
Yeah,
I insight her on this whole spiel that she gave us?
you can.
Would you mind if we have a convocation for a moment?
Oh, of course. Take your time, dearies. I'm just fine over here.
And
She is being legit in the fact that if you agree to at some point in the future help her regain her island, that she will aid you in exploring the ziggurat and act. So she's not going to necessarily just give you all of her stuff for free, but she will give you a fair rate on some of the potions, elixirs, and unguents she's got. And she is being legit in the fact that the lady of this lake, this hag, chased her family out of the off the island and out of the lake.
Okay.
And she is an elf, having been here since just after the calamity, not beyond uh, the possibilities, because
Is there
she looks like an elderly elf. She's probably 4, 5, 600 years old.
anything looking at her odd about her? Would that be nature?
And there's not a whole lot that odd about her.
Okay.
She's probably the oldest elf you've ever seen. You don't see many elves that get to the point of having graying hair and actually showing signs of wrinkles. She's got kind of the crow's feet on the eyes and the smile lines and whatnot. She seems
We
pleasant
also
enough.
talked about a bunch of adopted children that have grown up and gone off.
Do we know, like in game, do we know how hard it would be for us to fight a hag
It
We don't
depends on
necessarily have to fight a hag. I mean,
or
we would know
convince a
that
hag?
they're.
it depends
We
on
know
the
that they're
type of hag.
fey.
That hags come in various power levels.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
if
I mean, like
if she's a if she
in game,
yeah
would our characters know, like, oh, this is a thing that will be very hard for us, or this is fine?
You have heard tales of hags and fey creatures. Um and uh if if she is talking about a standard um forest hedge witch style hag, um that would be difficult at your current level, but not impossible. Um After a little bit of experience, probably fairly within your capabilities. If you get into the nastier seafaring hags, the Behir hags, or heaven forbid, the ones that have gone full on fiendish, unseelie night hags, those are going to be beyond your capabilities for a bit. If they are in a full coven, they get to be more dangerous. You do know that a full on coven hag, they are going to have spells and magic beyond the capabilities of a normal hag. That
And the way Auntie made it sound, there's just one.
Mm-hmm.
she made it sound as if there was just the one that
All
chased
right,
off her
girls.
chased off her people.
Yeah, we could go ask her if she's sure there's just one.
Okay, B will ask.
Yeah.
Auntie, does the lake hag have any friends, or is it just her by herself?
Well, I've not been up there in many years. Um, but when she first chased us off, she came in with well, she brought friends with her, but not necessarily friends of her own type. She brought in bands of the Unseelie court, little goblins and brownies and the like, and they chased everybody off. And now she is, her name has fallen into legend. People believe her to be kind and benevolent, but strict in her judgment. But what is really is she is just keeping people away from her island.
Mm.
And how many other people have you asked to do this for you, with you?
Oh, none, because, well, not very many people come down here. The last
And
time I had
B will
asked
just look at everybody
anybody,
else and go, seems legit. Yeah.
the last time I had asked anybody to do anything for me was when I asked some kind adventuring folk to help me find a home down here. This entire little temple system was it had all sorts of snakes around it, and they helped me clear it out, and left me a nice little place here. Um, it has since had the water rise a little bit, but it stays out, and I've got my own little comfortable hole here, and if I want to go out, well, these boots are quite water resistant. And I've got bigger ones too if I really want to go out and wade out into the swamp, if you know what I mean.
That was my next question. If there was another way out of here besides going back down there and getting wet again?
No, that unfortunately that is the way out.
Ew.
This
All right.
this particular temple was built before the time of OSHA.
You know who the temple was built to honor?
Yeah, who's the snake lady?
Um, that is a fine question. I am not very well versed in very many of the gods. That's not really my not really my forte. But it was a snake god. Um, quite not really. I wouldn't say unsavory. That's a little bit too harsh. Is what she describes to you is not a full on betrayer god, but isn't necessarily like one of the prime gods, and it is an old god, an ancient god, almost from the time before the calamity, and probably wasn't even necessarily a god, just a celestial creature. Probably a little bit closer to like a great old one, sort of a sort of a pact, as opposed to a full on like cleric situation.
Does
Um,
she know if this is the same, if the ziggurat also has anything to do with this god?
likely, she's actually willing to bet exclusively. Yes, it is related to serpents in some fashion.
Oh, this will be fun.
So
Okay, girls, gays, and days. What are we gonna do?
Well,
Well, do
our
we have to go do the Lady of the Lake first?
no, she
So
is.
we go to the ziggurat.
It's just like an at any time if we agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Your agreement is that you will help her get back to the lake in exchange for her help with the ziggurats.
and she said that she would help us or at least let us rummage through her garbage pile for whatever.
She
What's our
would.
gentleman's name?
That is a fine question. Did I actually?
David.
David.
David Law sent us to
Well,
find.
yeah. He was the one that he was the contractor, but yes.
He's the middle manager.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for
He's the
artwork,
guy we
statues, and
talked to.
tapestries. And Auntie said that she had some we could look through.
Yes. She will. So, um, she has got a collection of some tapestries that were up in this particular room that she has since taken down so that she could hang up her drying bits and pieces that she's collected from the swamp. Um, she was actually using one as a blanket, but it has a you have three of them. Each one has got a different sort of tableau set on it. One of them shows the ziggurat, and it has got people on the top of the ziggurat, kind of bowing in supplication to a creature that is standing on the top that is um, human from the waist up, snake from the waist down, and has a snake head as opposed to a human head. So it's got a humanoid torso and arms with a snake's head and lower body. Um, the another one
Those
of
look
them,
scary.
a little scary, a little scary. Another one shows a scene before a temple where a human shaman of some sort who is wearing a headdress that is shaped like a snake's head is in the process of doing a sacrifice, and you see the image of a grinning snake above it. And the last one uh, looks like it is a tableau of a shore village, with boats out on the water, fishing, and people on the shore working at and building a community with the ziggurat just off uh, over the tree line behind the people building the village on the shore. Additionally, there are three statuettes. One uh, made of cold iron, another one made of silver, and another one made of bronze. That uh, are look to be like varying degrees of snake people. They look to be like almost like the same image, just done up in a different type of metal. They're standing in different positions, but it looks almost like the same creature, just in different poses and using different metals. And last but not least, there is what looks to be like an amulet, but where the necklace meets up to the chain is a kind of a hanging crystal. It kind of looks like one of those salt crystals, but just upside down. So the pointy bit is down on it, and it is of a dark purple color, which doesn't seem to match any of the color schemes that are currently in the temple area that you've seen so far. There's very much greens and browns and oranges. This is a deep purple.
Hey, was Mavis the one who cast detect magic earlier?
Hey, B
Yep.
will pull out the
Mhm.
shiny thing and hand it to Mavis. What's
Uh,
this?
the amulet thing.
The amulet thing.
Okay.
We have to wait till tomorrow.
It's not still up.
No,
It doesn't last that long.
lasts for 10 minutes.
Well,
Uh,
maybe you should keep it. It looks very shiny
I
and
mean-
magical.
Mother Mela will tell you that that it is that she does not believe it to be magical. She's like, I would have noticed if it was magical. I'm not saying it can't be magical. It is quite a nice crystal, and crystals are very good in use with various rituals and enchantments, but it does not have any magic currently in it. But it is a quite pretty crystal. Pretty crystal.
So
well, we're
there's
really looking for things that are like have like historical value, right?
Yep.
You are.
So we have the three statues, an amulet. What were the three other things before? Were they
Tapestries.
Tapestries.
Mm-hmm. The three tapestries and the three statues are definitely historical in nature. The amulet, it could be historical. It could have just been something that they found there. It is hard for you to say. It would probably need some research to figure out what it
And
is.
so, Mother Mela, if we agree to help you with your Lady of the Lake, which I think all of us seems like that seems like a good deal, would you be willing to part with some of these tapestries? And
Oh, of course.
you're not really using them.
No. That's it's just piling up in my home
Mhm.
here.
I'd be happy to take them off your hands.
Oh, of course.
to clear some space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we can all, if we divvy them up, we can carry most of it.
Oh yeah, easily.
And we can bring you like blankets that aren't falling apart.
Well, that would be quite
fact, I have
quite
one here.
lovely. That would be quite lovely.
I'll give her the blanket from my adventurous pack thing that I carry.
Mm.
Like, here, this one's nice and warm.
She
Not falling apart.
Oh, that is so nice, dearie. Here, please take this in return. And she hands you a gourd that has got a kind of a viscous fluid in it. Opening it up, it's got a little bit of fizz to it. It would kind of remind you of a kombucha, basically. And it's a
I was just going to ask if this is her homemade kombucha.
she's handing you her homemade kombucha, which in this situation would act as a potion of healing.
Nice. Kombucha of healing.
Kombucha of healing. Yep.
Very nice.
It's gonna taste like hell, but it'll make you feel better.
I mean, maybe you're just drinking the wrong kombuchas.
I don't know. The last one I had said bold and smooth. It was bold. It was not smooth.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from the weird flavors, okay? There's like a company that does a honey one that's really nice, and
Mhm.
the tea ones that are pretty good.
You know what? I am moving up to Door County, and dark cherry is not a weird flavor, okay? I'm just saying. There's
Dark
cherry
cherry is a
everything up
weird
there.
flavor outside of Door County because those are other cherries that are used outside of Door County.
I'm just saying.
You need Door County kombucha.
Yeah, they stopped selling it down here. They used to sell it down here. Anyway, all right.
Arabella would like to do a religion check on the tapestries with the Yantis on them and see if there's a story that she can glean.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a history check.
A history check? Oh, I was doing
What were you doing?
I was going to look at it from a religious lens.
All right, go
since
ahead
I'm
and give me a
there.
religion. All right.
Did it show up?
It did.
It is not great.
You aren't familiar with any snake deities. Probably goes a little bit too far back than like in the chat kombucha. Yes, kombucha. But yes, so probably too far back in history. Currently, there are some snake related imagery with some of the betrayer gods, but nothing as flat out representational by this. This probably predates the betrayer gods.
Okay.
And for those of you not familiar with Exandria, betrayer gods are the evil pantheon.
Lass, what can you tell us about this hag? What does she absolutely hate? What's just shite to her?
Well, I'm not sure if there's anything she in particular hates. I didn't exactly get much time to talk with her. She would tell you that she is definitely of the unseelie court, which means that the minions that she would choose to use, assuming she still has them, because she has not heard of those creatures being in great numbers around that lake, would be goblins, hobgoblins, bargists, brownies, and the like. Things that are from the come kind of from the darker nature of the Fey courts. And aside from that, she will probably be using a lot more natural creatures that you would find along the lake. Gators, fish, bears, the like. Even the unseelie are known to use animal companions and the like. They will just sometimes enhance them with their own rituals and magics.
So, Auntie, would you be okay with us staying the night here with you and setting out tomorrow?
Would it be it'll be a snug fit in here, but you're welcome to stay. Of course.
Anyone else? I mean, I know it's like we just had a short rest, but I don't know what time of day it is.
My question
it's
is,
later in the afternoon and evening.
Are we talking about going to the lake first, or are we going into the ziggurat first?
Ziggurat first.
Okay. I kind of got that as like we could go deal with her problem, in a little while once we feel
once we have a couple more levels.
I feel like we should maybe communicate this to Auntie. Like, we're new.
It might be a few weeks before we can get around to this. Is that okay with you?
Oh yeah, she just said at some point.
Yeah,
we did tell her that
we're starting a relationship with Auntie.
This is a future favor, is what she is bargaining for, and she tells
Auntie
you.
Did say she wants children, so.
Now, looking at Auntie and being that I am Fae, she is an elf. She's Sealy Court Fae.
She seems like it. It's hard to tell. So she is not. She's not displaying any sort of winter vibes,
which is good.
She is not. She has kind of that forest hedge witchy feel with the various gourds and whatnot. But she does not. She doesn't have like a cauldron. She's not, hanging over it with, a stirring stick. Toil, 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 and trouble. No, there's no. Oh, and your little dog too. She's she seems like a matronly elf. Um,
Is
so
anyone else? This is just a Dean of the player. Is anyone else in the party like Fey touched or half elven? Something? Do you
I'm
have
a
Fey?
high
So at least one of you can't be charmed to put to sleep.
elf. Yeah,
what do I
Stacy's a
have?
high elf.
You get that? I don't think I get
Adelaide,
that.
who is mysteriously not with us,
no,
is half elf.
no, the furbolgs do not get Fey ancestry.
Nope.
So yeah, she just seems like an elderly elven woman that is eking a life out in the swamps.
Who wants their land back?
Give me back my land.
I think that we should find a place for the hag to move to before we approach her. And maybe she'll be more open to picking up and going.
Oh, we need to find like a creepier spot.
Yeah.
Maybe if we find her a haunted castle somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Or we could haunt
locate the
her land.
vampire
We
haunted
could be the
castle, kill
ghost.
the vampires because vampires are evil, and move the hag into his castle. Done.
Or the ziggurat would be great. I mean, it's a huge. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of bathrooms. Great windows.
There's lots of natural light.
I mean,
I mean,
who would want to
We're
live
just
like
trying to
that?
get you to. We're trying to get him to do a swap.
I mean, trying to get
think
her
she
out
would
of the
believe
swamp into
there's,
this nice
like-
building.
What if we told her there was like a sinkhole situation? The ground was about to open up and swallow her, and we were evacuating the area. What if we used like a clipboard?
You'd still need a place to evacuate her to.
I'm sorry. You're gonna try an eminent domain, the hag.
I mean, it was that, or like there was an alien from another planet who like
if you have
really
a
wanted to
disaster
have a
happen and you
bypass
have a
through.
disaster plan.
I can't understand anything Ruth said.
Oh.
Climate change is real, and this lake is going to dry up, and we're concerned for her safety.
I'm just saying. There's a historical element to arguing eminent domain to an Italian from Madison.
Oof.
Yes. How do you think we got the campus? All right.
Oof.
Oof. So.
It happened in Chicago at UIC.
Yep. Also, again. Anyways.
Yeah.
We're not going to discuss Italian history in the Midwest.
Yeah. You said that it's early afternoon, or is it getting on to evening?
It's getting towards evening. Yes. It's later afternoon to evening.
And this would technically be a safe place to stay for the night before we either head back into town with our.
Yeah, if you finally trust her. I mean, you've insight checked her several times.
We trust her. We could do a little exploring of the ziggurat if we feel like we're if we feel like we got a little bit of energy before we were ready to bed down for the night. We could do a little exploring of the ziggurat, then come back up here, spend the night.
Gonna see. I think most people are out of spell slots.
Yes.
How are we doing?
I have one of my two.
It looks like I have mine back, but maybe that was an error.
That may have been an error. I believe
That
you were
seems like an
casting
error.
spells willy-nilly.
Because I have 4 hit points.
Last time.
Uh-huh.
Unless a short rest brings them all back, then
Nope.
I'm out of spells.
You're a cleric,
Mhm.
Only
Yeah,
warlocks
no.
get them back on a short rest.
So I think we should short rest or long rest here.
It's a safe place. Auntie's got food and warmth, and we should be okay. I mean, if Auntie's here, well, I guess we can ask Auntie. Does Auntie need like a watch kept? Does she sleep well here?
Oh, she's she's been living down here by herself for many, many years.
Okay, so this would technically be a safe place where we could all have a nice rest and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She tells you that when you hit that little lever that opened up the snake's mouth, she heard it well before you all climbed in the mouth and walked up here. So it's not like anybody's gonna sneak up on you. She's like, oh wait, just one moment. She goes back down to hear click. Figured I might close the door. Now we shall be alerted should anybody try to make their way up here.
Well, Arabella is freezing. She's been freezing for days, and the swamp water did not help. So she's going to take off all of her things and drape them by the fire to air them out, and bundle up with that blanket, like try to get warm by the fire.
All of
So
your things?
as you took off your
So that
clothes,
thing-
Mavis prestidigitated and cleaned all your clothes
Oh, nice.
Mavis.
So good.
and works her way
So
through
sweet.
everybody's clothing and
as
fur.
and as Mavis is doing that, Mother Mela, Auntie, grabs blankets that you are taking. She uses prestidigitation and warms the blankets so that as you wrap the blankets around you,
Ah,
it is
And I
like
think-
taking heated towel.
And
I
most of
feel
us have
so
blankets.
spoiled.
We can
It's
bring
like
out our-
staying in an inn.
Yeah. Well, as you pull
Bring
out
out
your
our
blanket, she
blankets.
warms the blankets for you using the
Mm.
same spell.
And if there's anything of Auntie's that needs cleaning, I will help by doing a little cleaning.
Yeah, it's the place seems it's kind of like walking into an old fashioned comic book shop. It's got that smell that it's like it's you can smell that it's a comic book shop, but there's no necessarily cleaning that smell out of it because that's what
Okay.
you go to the old comic book shop for.
It's old
Yeah.
paper.
Exactly.
I instantly thought of like when you go to the zoo and you walk into like the penguin area
Yeah, or going to grandma's house. Yeah.
because it's all like damp and stuff in there.
Grandma's
It's
house.
clean.
That's
Yeah. Well, grandma's house for my generation. For the current generation, grandma's house is basically my condo. So
Yep.
my condo, let's be fair, my condo
is there one of
smells
those
a little
crystal
bit like
candy
dog.
dishes with only hard candies in it?
Only hard
Yeah.
candy.
The strawberry ones and Werther's
Ooh.
Originals.
Werther's original.
Yes.
I saw a
And those
TikTok
little raspberry ones with the gel in the middle.
yeah, I saw a TikTok where somebody put Werther's originals in vodka for a week and then drank it.
Dude,
like-
just do some butter shots. It's the same thing.
He thought it was the best thing ever. That's kind of his gig though. He puts stuff in alcohol and soaks it for a week and then sees how it turns out. Sometimes it goes very, very poorly, as you can imagine. Anyways,
Before bed, I am going to cast Goodberry
Thank
Um,
you.
so that we have good berries for tomorrow, which would restore 1 hit point
right.
if we need them.
Yep, they will last for 24 hours, so they'll last until
24
tomorrow
hours.
night.
So before bed, I'm going to use my
Clever.
remaining spell slot to cast good berries and hand everyone a berry. It's up to 10 berries. And then,
I will pocket it.
Thank you. I will pocket that as well.
Pocketed it.
Man, so we are. How long are we in on this stream? We are an hour and a half in on this stream, and I just realized I didn't hit the record button. So when we leave, just remind me to download the VOD from Twitch so that I can put it up to YouTube because I've got
I
2
will
weeks
make a
before
note.
it disappears.
We're at hour 35 in.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I can download the VOD from Twitch and I can archive that as opposed to the recording that I do through OBS, which I have to convert anyways. So it's kind of a pain. But anyway, just reminding myself, I don't actually record all of our streams because that takes up resources and it makes my webcam go funky. So anyways, that was a reminder to myself.
So now we get to use the long rest button on the character sheet.
You can use the long rest button on the character sheet.
Thank you, Joe.
You are welcome.
Yay.
Where is it?
Upper right.
Right.
Short rest, long rest, right up there.
Hey, that's very nice.
So you've got a potion of healing, you've got a +1 dagger, and you've got a a new auntie to help you
Yay! I like having a new auntie.
in exploring the ziggurats, having a place to rest and relax in between explorations, and maybe pick up some jambalaya and boudin now and again.
Yeah, we need to help with the food situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would give her one of my rations
Oh,
for
she
her
does
stew.
she
She
does
doesn't
not
want
no.
rations. She wants some of those fancy mushrooms,
Uh,
probably.
Yeah, my good berries. Now, when you look really close, they're not berries.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
They're
Shrooms.
they are fungi that
The
are.
first one of you that takes one of the berries, it's like, oh, what's in my berry? Ooh.
I don't know if you guys have ever tried mushroom jerky, but it's an experience.
It's a thing. Yeah, all of the good berries kind of have the taste and texture of morels, basically. Um, sure, that we'll work with that. Um, there's a morel cheddar that is made by Renard's up in Door County that is
Ooh.
amazing. Anyway,
Well, that's next on the list for us making the game now.
cheese. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Cheese.
some sort of
Mushroom
lemon
cheese.
spread.
Mushroom cheese.
Yeah, lemon spread is basically like crackers.
Yeah.
Look, if they can make cheese out of cashews, I'm sure we can do something with mushrooms.
Right?
Yep.
So, in talking with her about food, the things that she is going to be truly interested in is if you go back to town and come back, um, dry goods that she can't get normally, flour, rice, um, things that she can use for baking. Because while she makes the equivalent of types of breads and crackers, it is not. I mean, it is done using whatever she can find there. Uh, yeah, coffee, definitely coffee. No,
Yeah.
she is a bit more of a tea drinker, but she wouldn't say no to a coffee.
Would she want canned goods? Somebody who canned, peaches,
If you find
tomatoes.
pickled and jarred goods,
Pickles.
she will not she would not say no to. She and in fact she does some pickling on her own as well, because you've got she's got access to all sorts of stuff that she can brine with in the swamp.
Does she need empty jars?
Jars would be good because she has been using things like gourds and whatnot for her potions. So if you can find jars and whatnot, that would always help.
Talking about food and such, Bee remembers that she has a pocket full of candy that she picked up before they left.
We did. We
did?
bought candy.
We bought candy. So she will offer Auntie a handful of sweet candies.
When
Little
you
hard
offer
candies.
when you offer Auntie Werther's originals, you just see her smile beam.
Yes, there's a little handful of candies, little strawberry ones, little raspberry
Yeah.
gel filled ones. And
Yeah,
so
Does
V will give
she-
Auntie 5 candies.
excellent.
Does
Yeah,
she
I
need,
forgot we did that.
pots, pans, and stuff like that?
Yeah.
She's got actually her own cast irons. Never offer to replace a southern
clean.
grandma's cast irons without her asking.
We're not
first.
replacing,
But-
we're adding to her repertoire.
Yeah, does she need more sizes?
I
Maybe
can
a
help
bigger
her
Dutch oven
season
for the
it.
jambalaya.
You know what? If you want to bring a Dutch oven, especially if she's going to be doing more baking, she could use a Dutch oven. She does not. She's got cast iron, but she does not have a Dutch oven. So there you go.
Yeah.
I
And
think
what else
I
is a
think
Dutch
that's
oven?
is that a Dutch oven or is that a Western oven? I don't know.
No.
A Marquesian
Yeah,
oven.
I don't know.
Okay, it's Marquesian.
A Marquesian
Yeah.
oven. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant
Yep.
cauldron Marquesian oven, same thing.
The entire stock of IKEA. Yeah. Bring me the Flarfignugan.
All of the Nordic ware you can carry.
Yep.
All right. So you take your long rest, and in the morning,
Mhm.
she has got a surprisingly you weren't expecting an actual breakfast, but there are eggs and sausages in the process of being made as you wake up.
Ooh.
So
Interesting.
she does as she puts them out for everybody. She has got a collection of salts and peppers and whatnot, but she also has what looks to be like a small jar. Originally you might have thought it might be a healing potion, but no, it is just a jar of a hot sauce. She's like, I'd make this on. I'd make this with my own personal recipe. And
I
she sets
love
it down
hot sauce.
and so the sausages are of the typical boudin style, and who knows what kind of meat it is, but it's whatever she is able to scavenge out of the swamp. She turns into sausage. Could be squirrel, could be rat. You never know.
Could be a toad
Gator.
that we killed,
Could be toad. Yep.
and that weird bug guy.
Yep. Gator. She actually she tells you does not make or very good sausages. That makes more good for steaks and the
Calamari?
like.
Yeah,
Jerky.
So um
it's just a bit chewy for
so
turkey.
you've got tea, eggs, and sausages for you in the morning.
I feel so spoiled.
Yes, I will absolutely. B will absolutely make a plate of eggs and help. Absolutely, she will absolutely get into that.
Yep, I know how this
Free
group
food?
works. Give them food. They are
Free
happy.
food? No, yeah,
This
I'm down for
shows
that.
you don't need capitalism, right?
B will also leave 5 more little candies beside her plate as thank you, as payment for.
She will accept any candies that you're willing to give because that is one
Yeah.
of the things that she can't get out in the swamp is sweets. All right. Uh, no Bloody Marys. She doesn't have vodka. Well, she might have vodka. I don't know. I've known some aunties.
Potatoes.
I've known some aunties from time
There's
to
some
time.
toilet wine around here, and you know it.
I'm
So-
pretty sure I just got that as a healing potion.
You can make vodka out of anything. You just have to distill it enough.
Yep.
There's
Now,
toilet wine
if you can
around
find me
here.
a good still, now then we'll be talking. Tomatoes. Tomatoes would be very hard to find here. That's probably why she doesn't have Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
Now, Long Island iced teas, on the other hand, she's got that in spades.
Yeah, those are so good. I had one for the first time last week. It is excellent.
Last week, damn, I feel
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
I think I had.
Now that I'm 21, I just never drank until recently. So
I think I had my first one before you were born. All right.
The kids
that's
have done that
possible.
tour.
Yeah. All right.
My mother, who doesn't drink, her friends took her out one time, and she called me, and I'm like, "Mom, are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, "Mom, you sound kind of drunk." No, I just went out and I had tea. Mom,
Oh,
what kind of tea did you have?
Long
Oh no, something
Island.
from New York. It was really good. I finally got out of my mother
honey.
that she had Long Island iced tea, and I said, "Mom, how many did you have?" She's like, 3. I'm like, mother, who's never drank a drop in her life, or occasionally will have like a strawberry daiquiri at like a wedding or something. My mother drunk dialed me.
Back in college was the first time that I went to New Orleans, and we were traveling down Bourbon Street when we got there, and we had this guy with us. He was fresh off the farm in Wisconsin, um, just fresh faced, never really drank anything like that. He was so pure that while the rest of us were listening to like rock music on the way down, in his Walkman he had classical music because he was a music major. That is how straight laced this guy was. And so we're walking down Bourbon Street. And he's wearing, the sweatpants style shorts and the Green Bay Packers T-shirt and whatnot. And we're stopping at these places that have got like the hurricanes. And he's like, "Well, that looks kind of tasty. Can I get one of those?"
Oh,
So he goes up to one of these street vendors to get one, and he looks at this kid fresh off the farm. He's like, "All right," and he goes, "Hurricane mix, 151. Hurricane mix, 151. 151, 151, 151." Little hurricane mix, mixes it up, and he takes a big old drink of it. He's like, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "Hey, John, yeah, can I try a sip of that?" And he's like, "Sure, here you go." I take a sip of it. I'm like, "All right, that curled my toes. Have fun." And
Did he make
oh,
it to the end of the block?
he did, because while he didn't really drink a whole lot, he is a Wisconsin farmer. He apparently was able to at least have, but he was having fun by the end of the night. I can tell you that much. But yeah, it was just like I just watched this dude mix it. I'm like, oh, this poor boy, he's gonna be so destroyed. Anyways, so
Yes, we know Auntie has toilet wine somewhere.
Auntie has got something somewhere. But at least, at the very least, she has served you kombucha. So she says, "Well, I suppose if you want to go about looking over the place, I can give you a quick tour if you wish."
Yeah.
All right. So she takes you out. As she gets ready to go out, she replaces her gator boots with things that are a little bit closer to hip waders. They come up halfway up her thighs.
Oh,
Uh, well, it's
Maven,
a couple feet of water.
can
So
I ride side saddle?
I pick up the short ones.
Thank you.
This time B will take off like most of her clothes, like strip down to her underwear and put them like
Wait
hold them
a
over her
second.
head as she
And
walks
her
through.
waxed
oh, now you
canvas bag.
you kids are crazy. And she goes walking through the water, and
Stacy checks her lip gloss in her tiny pocket mirror and then just
What
goes
about
right
Tank?
in.
What about Tank? Is Tank okay?
Tank is fine. Tank is like riding in a little doggy backpack. Just like right back here.
so she takes you up and leads you up to the upstairs. Um, she looks around the first layer where the toad was, and she's like, "Oh, I knew he wouldn't last for very long. Well, when you made it down here, I figured you might have taken care of him. Woo! Wait, that means..." And she walks out. And she sees where the giant toad is laying there. It might have been nibbled on by a couple of scavengers, but not really. And she's like, "Ooh, we'll come back for that."
yeah, it tried to eat me.
Well, then it seems only right that she should eat it back. And she pulls out a knife, looks at it, and yep, sharp enough. We'll be back for that one. And then she takes you out, um, shows you where the rat nest is, and says and tells you that there's no keeping the rats out of here. Eventually, more will come back. But she's like, this it'll be clear for at least a week or so. I wouldn't worry about it much. Um, and and she says, and besides, there's not that many rats around here that are of truly large size where they get unruly. But they do tend to bully around the wee ones. Uh,
Rodents of usual size? I don't think
I
they
don't
Never
think
exist.
heard
so.
of 'em.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Uh, and so she then walks you up to the ziggurat. And once she walks you up to the ziggurat, she takes you out, leading the path that is marked by those X's. And as she takes you up the stairs, start off a little bit crumbly on the bottom, and she shows you, kind of the proper place. This is 7. Gets you up to the top of the ziggurat itself, and she shows you where like the sacrificial cauldron used to be. So the caldera at the top of it is this kind of circular bit that's up here in the ruined pieces, and she shows you where they would have performed the sacrifices. And what you can notice in looking at it is that there are some ruts that are formed into the top of the ziggurat where blood would drain away from the middle of the caldera and go into small entrances that go into the ziggurat itself. And
Uh-oh.
so she said, "This is how you know there's something inside of there, because it's emptying somewhere." So,
Is the cauldron fully intact?
uh, no, the caldera at the top of it is kind of busted up a little bit. The furrows are still there because that's actually dug into the stone of the plateau up there. But the actual like bowl that had been there where the sacrifices would have been put has kind of broken off with time and exposure. So she says, if you're looking and you're investigating, especially if you're looking at a sacrificial area, this is what you wish to look for. It'll point you to the direction of potentially having more underneath. And with that, she says, "Now that said, it's not necessarily in the most obvious of locations." And she said, "This is the part that took time. And well, if one such as me has got anything, I've got time on me hands." And she takes you down and takes you to this corner here, the northwest corner, away from the stairs. And she shows you in the northwest corner where going up. So you've got the stairs that go in the middle of those sections of the pyramid going up. On the points where the seams meet, and it's more of an edge, a straight edge, there are almost like pictographs that go up there. They're very small. They've been kind of worn down with time. And she said, "This stone takes a little bit of research, but or trial and error. And you know, if one's got time on their hands, one can always poke something with a stick." And she pokes down to where there is there are the two different sides. There is one pictograph that looks like a snake, another one that looks like a bird or a crane of some sort. And when she presses the two of those, they go in, and the uh, stone at the bottom corner there kind of sinks in and splits away. And when it splits away, there's looks like it's a tunnel that goes underneath. And she's like, "That is a way in. That is the only way in I have currently found. Some of them might be in the watery areas, and I do know that some of you don't like going into the water, so this would be your path in, I would think. You will likely find more of those types of trinkets," as she points to the uh, tapestries and whatnot. Although you didn't necessarily have to drag them with you if you don't want, because if you want to leave them with Auntie, she will keep them in her little underground cabin for you until you return. But you'll find more things like that probably underneath and inside here. I would be careful. Uh, Ancient cultures are known for their little booby traps and the like down there.
Or we just throw a cat at it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I got this, Auntie. I got it.
Very good, very good. Um, she says, "Take your time, be careful, and if you find yourself in need of rest or more of Auntie services, you know where to find me." She's like, I'll be back down. I'll be up there uh, for the near future, butchering myself up a little bit of toad to take down and prepare for cooking later. If you find yourself hungry towards the end of the night, there'll be some toad steaks marinating on the
Ooh,
grill.
I would really like to eat the thing that tried to eat me. Yes.
There does seem a little bit of poetic justice in that, doesn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good luck, dearies, and we shall see you later. And she heads back up towards the north where the toad was left.
So B will look down into this dark hole. Also, just as a player, does everybody have dark vision, or do I need to pull out a torch?
You should pull out a torch.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Arabella is nominally human. She told us she was human, but in a kind of sketchy way.
B does have dark vision, and I will go sneak, do stealthy, do the rogue thing with my dark vision, and then come back up and light a torch for everybody.
Yeah, I need the torch.
All right. So
is that investigation or perception? Which do you prefer, checking for traps and being stuff?
that would
being
be
roguey?
more of an investigation.
Okay. The rogue will go investigate stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Ow! That's going to leave a mark. No, you don't find any traps down there. The pathway leads in about 15 feet before a set of stairs goes a little bit further down, and it starts to almost do like a switchback for several feet.
Is it dark or like torchlight dark?
Well, it is dark until you light the torch. Lighting the
Okay.
torch, then you get some shadowy light in there, and there'd probably be a couple torches involved to kind of cover everybody. As soon as you turn around a corner, suddenly the people behind you will be dropped into shadow.
Does anybody else have torches, or do I need
I've
to?
got torches, so I'll light a torch.
Okay, so we'll each have one. I'll take front. And you are very tall.
Are we still in deep water?
No, this is actually a dry spot. There is no water in here.
Let's see
She
what I
did
got.
say that she would take you into the dry section.
Yes.
Do you need a stealth roll?
Well, if you all are going to be going down there, why don't you give me a group stealth roll? The rogue stealth roll will be more of an individual as she is walking further ahead from the rest of you, and then the group stealth roll will just be in general.
I'm not very stealthy wearing what I'm wearing.
That's fine.
So if anybody wants me to hang back, that's cool.
Well, you are
Okay.
hanging back. The rogue is going
I've got
further ahead.
disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, Amanita's already. I'll see you're
Yeah.
doing better than Amanita was.
Yeah, look. Sometimes you get unlucky.
Oh, sometimes you make lots of noise.
Sometimes someone is very, very tall and loud.
I think
Oh,
Mavis
you
just
see
stepped
these
on me, and
carvings
then
here?
I made a loud squeak. And then
They're
that's what
really
happened.
cool, but they don't seem to have anything to do with...
Mavis is going down, and she's trying to be stealthy. Suddenly realizes the stairs were not meant for 7-foot tall creatures, and bam! Ow, son of a god! That's
That's gonna leave a scar.
full on
Son of
pulls
a
a Tommy boy.
Bitch.
Yeah. B will just come back and goes, inside voices, you all. God. And turn back around and go back down the hall.
Arabella's like,
All right. So, as you
How far ahead am I? How far ahead do I get from everybody?
you're probably about 30 to 40 feet ahead of everybody,
Okay.
just to give yourself a distance from the clomping loud folk.
Let me know when you need another investigation or anything.
Oh, you can go ahead and do one now.
Okay.
So, in going down, you get to a portion where it's a little bit more of a guiding ramp that is heading to the south. You think it's hard to tell because you're now underground, and as it leans down that direction, you see what is probably some sort of the signs of a pressure plate that you would step on and might activate something.
I will not step on that. I will pause and turn back around to everybody and say, there's a thing in the floor. Don't step on that.
Now, the thing that looks like is a pressure plate goes across basically the entire hallway. That's the difficulty that you're seeing here.
It goes
And
across the whole
one
hallway.
jump across it, or can perhaps a tall person throw little people over it?
Throwing little people might be a little bit easier. Jumping across it, these are about 6 to 8 foot tall ceilings. A 7 foot tall furbug trying to jump across it is going to 100% bang their head and probably land square in the middle of it.
Does my investigation roll tell me if it's a disarmable thing?
It looks like you could probably do it. It is finding whatever the spring activation is underneath it to kind of, clip it and make your way through it.
Could one cast guidance to help?
I cannot cast guidance to help.
Could someone maybe inspire me?
I can give you
Go for
bardic
the gold.
inspiration. Does the cleric have guidance?
No, I saw like a word that started with a G and it looked like guidance, but it was guiding bolt. So yeah, I got nothing.
That's a first level
I
spell.
got really
Look at your-
excited for a second and then was like,
Hold on, Rogue. I'll help you. Blast.
Look at your 0 level spells.
I do believe clerics might be able to offer a prayer of blessing, perhaps.
I do have that. Let me hang
Bless
on.
only lasts for
No,
a
wait,
minute,
I
though,
do have
and it is.
guidance. I do have guidance. I was in
Alright.
the wrong spot.
Okay, good.
So let me give you some guidance.
All right.
I believe in you.
And I give you bardic inspiration.
All right.
Okay.
So it is a thieves' tools check. Do you have expertise in thieves' tools or just proficiency?
Yes, I do.
Expertise. All right. So it's double your proficiency plus dexterity. So it is 4 plus your dex modifier. If you haven't created a custom skill for that, you can
Okay, so
you
then
can
no.
just
So
you can just roll any dex-based skill that you're proficient in, and then just add
Okay.
2 to it,
gotcha.
plus your guidance, obviously. Well, that's a 24 plus 4. That's a 28. I think you not only disarmed it, I think you literally snapped it out of place, lifted it up, went, I think this fixed it. Toss it aside.
Take it apart.
Yeah.
Here, hold this.
Here, hold this.
Yay, go team.
Thank you, everyone.
You have disabled whatever that trap was. You're not sure exactly what the trap was, but you disabled the triggering element to it. So you continue on, and as you continue down this pathway, it opens up onto a landing that sits above a sunken room, and this hallway that it opens up into the sunken room. It looks kind of almost like a crypt. You see a pair of sarcophagi underneath, and you're looking at it, and it looks like it might be in a damp area. But as you look closer and you kind of hold your torch down that direction, you see the floor has got various small snakes that are writhing around on it like a carpet. And
That's not good.
you look back and go, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I was wondering if anybody was going to say the line, and if they weren't, I was going to do it.
Yep. So you can hear the hiss of the snakes that are down there. You don't see anything in the signs of larger creatures, but the large protuberance of snake carpeting down there looks to be at the very least creepy, if not potentially dangerous. And
they're like actual living snakes.
Actual living snakes, which means that
But how
somehow
are the snakes stay
There.
alive for so long? Somebody must be feeding the snakes.
So you saw that movie too, huh?
Rats.
Yes.
There's lots of rats nearby.
Yeah. You see.
Oh, you're right.
You see
Snake
Sandra
man.
Bullock down there with what's his name, Magic Mike. What? How did?
That
Who
was
even
an
fed all these
awesome
snakes?
film.
Yep. And
I loved it.
you gotta love the nice little inside jokes they had in it. How is it that you're so pretty? Oh, my father was a weatherman, which was a dig against George Clooney. Anyway,
I
so
did not
Oh, I
realize that.
didn't get that one. Yeah, I
it
missed
is.
that.
Brad Pitt and George Clooney prank each other all the time, and George Clooney's father was a weatherman. Anyway,
Nice.
Who
so,
is the man that plays the? Who is he? Channing.
Channing Tatum,
Channing Tatum. He's Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. Yeah.
I just don't find him attractive. He's not my type, but everybody loves him and they think he's so sexy, and I'm like, not fat enough, not hairy enough. Boo.
I mean, he's no Jason Momoa, but woo. All right, so
I think
He is
Channing
nuts.
Tatum is just weird and hilarious.
It's the
Like
muscles.
the free guy.
Muscles.
yeah.
The one guy's avatar.
All right. Well, as we overlook on this room with the very snake-like carpeting and the couple of sarcophagi, and you look back at your companions and figure out that you are in fact now in the thick of it. This is where we will leave off as we are just hitting close to 10 o'clock, and we will pick up in 2 weeks.
Stopping when we're into the thick of it?
Yes, well, because then that'll give you some time to think about how you want to deal with all those snakes, and it'll give Joe some time to come up with alternatives for what the snakes are going to be doing. That'll really mess up your day.
Before everyone goes, I do need to divvy up gold that I took.
Ooh.
Well,
So-
it's still. I think we can just leave what we have because
Everybody
There's-
everybody can take 3 gold and 1 silver. That'll
Okay.
that'll make it so that it'll be easy because that's those.
I'm
of you-
retiring now.
I'm done. That's my
I
401k
need
right
you.
there.
Oof. I'm a millennial. Let's say, what's retiring?
I
Yeah,
did
right?
add the +1 dagger to my inventory, or at least I hope I did because it's D&D Beyond.
As long
And
as
our 401k is
if-
going to exist when we try to retire?
well,
401k will, but Social Security won't.
I can tell you what my financial advisor told me. Well, all right, told my wife because I had to take my mother to a doctor's appointment when we had that Zoom meeting. Fun fact: my financial advisor was a kicker for the Badgers in 2012 when I was working there. I actually put up his bio. It was
cool.
kind of funny. Anyway, so with that, we will then leave things here. We will pick up again in 2 weeks as you are trying to explore the ziggurat and bring back goodies for the contractor that hired you with the guild heroes, and possibly your new friend with Auntie Mela.
And will there be a
Yay.
level next time, maybe?
Oh, there might be a level. You can prepare for a level. You want to know what's going to happen when you hit level 2. But for you to hit level 2, you'll have to survive a little bit down there and get yet another long rest at the very least, depending on how
Because
well
your
you do.
neighborhood-friendly rogue would really like Uncanny Dodge. Really
Would you?
would.
you?
I
'Cause
would like Uncanny Dodge and cunning action.
I want Song of Rest, Jack of all trades, and another spell.
I want to be able to
Yeah.
pick my subclass.
I would like to have a campaign that doesn't focus around food for once. We all don't get what we
No.
want, do we?
We're not picking
We're not
subclasses.
Right.
focusing on food.
You know what we liked?
We could focus more on food if that's what you want us to do.
Yeah, Circle of
Apparently
Spores
it's
is
the way-
vaguely mushroom themed, so if I'm eating, it's mushroomy.
Uh-huh.
I could lean into it more.
I know
Mushrooms
you
on
could.
pizza are fantastic, okay?
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And with
I
that,
do recall there was something about pizza
oh god,
last
no.
time.
God no.
That was also me. Sorry.
Yes, that was. And with that, for those of you
Thank
that hung
you.
around and lurked and enjoyed the fun, if you want to be notified the next time we play, which will be in 2 weeks' time, go ahead and hit the little button to follow us. Throw a subscription if you enjoy our content and want to see more of it. Otherwise, for those of you that are looking for more fun and merriment, we are going to have more games happening over the next 3 nights here on Border Kingdoms Adventures, including the Skyfall into Avernus, the homebrew campaign where we take a spaceship, crash it into Toril, and then go to hell. Because why wouldn't you?
Cool.
Uh,
That sounds awesome.
and then ending with our Border Kingdoms, one night in the Border Kingdoms on Wednesday. So until then, from Border Kingdoms Adventures and the TTRPG geezer here, stay healthy, stay safe, roll some dice. Just don't do it on my lawn, you damn kids. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.